Well, finally get to go home in the daylight. It's really nice. I got off on time, but I'm just wondering, is anybody out there my age? I'm 50. I've said it before 1,000 times. Are any of y'all out there my age raising young teenagers? Because it's kicking my ass. Like, it's literally kicking my ass. I had my older kids young. By the time I was 26, I had 4 kids. And had my last one at 26. And then I started over with my last 3. And I'm an older mom. And it is kicking my ass, guys. It is totally kicking my ass. Now, having said that, I still parent exactly the same as I did with my older ones. I haven't changed my parenting style at all. I still believe the same things. I believe my older kids are amazing. Not bragging, I just think they're amazing. They grew up good. They live right. They all take care of themselves. They all work. I'm proud of them all. So I'm parenting the same way. But times are different. Times are way different now than they were when my older kids were growing up to now. So it makes it a lot harder to parent these days. Kids are a lot more, want to be a lot more grown now than they did then. Not that kids didn't want to be grown when my kids were growing up, because hell, we wanted to be grown when we were growing up. But things are a lot more accessible now. So it's so hard to raise kids now. And then you've got a lot of kids who aren't parented at all. And you know what I mean by that. They aren't parented, or they're growing up with people who aren't their parents, or they're growing up with grandparents. And grandparents are soft. I love you guys. Grandparents are soft. And they're growing up with aunts and uncles, or they're growing up, a lot of kids in foster care these days, or growing up with distant family members, or growing up living with friends. There's just a lot of kids who aren't being raised by their parents, or if they are being raised by their parents, it's just not a good situation. Now, having said that, I know some amazing parents out there, but I feel like parents are fighting a losing battle. I really do, because it is so hard parenting today. And it's not just the fact that there are kids who aren't being parented. It's technology. It's education. I've had more issues with my kids' schools now than I ever did with my older kids' schools. And I had a lot of issues with schools when my kids were, my older kids were in school. And I thought it was bad then, but it is so much worse now, because teachers think they don't have to follow rules anymore, and they can say whatever they want to your children because there are no parents, or no parents that will stand up for their kids. Well, this parent does. I will bust up in a school in a second. I don't care. In a second. There's not a person in that school that scares me, that I won't walk up in there. And I know they have SROs, which is what we call them in Tennessee, the officers that are in the school. I don't care. I don't care. My kid's in that school. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to say what I want to say. And I do, every time. I just had an issue not too long ago with 2 teachers making fun of my son and picking on him and bullying him. And I don't know if they think when they bring you in and they have this officer standing there that you're not going to say how you feel. Well, they didn't know me, so I said how I felt. It's so hard to parent now. In the last 2 days, I've had 2 calls from the school. And I just feel like I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And I'm not the type of parent that thinks my kids are perfect. I don't. Because the first thing I say when I go to the school is, what did my child do? Because I know my kids are not innocent. Any parent who thinks when something happens at the school that their kid didn't have a hand in it, you are so wrong. Now, having said that, kids do get bullied, and they cannot help what happens to them. My son got bullied for a long time, and he didn't do anything to the kids that were bullying him. We got past that. I, taught my son to defend himself, to take up for himself, and he doesn't get bullied anymore because he did stand up for himself. But now when something happens, I know that he played a role. And so I want to know what role he played before we even discuss what happened. What role did he have? So I know how to handle what he did, and then we'll discuss what happened then, because any parent who thinks their kid does no wrong, you're setting your kid up for failure. You are, because your kid's not going to be accountable for any of their actions ever if you think your kid never does any wrong. So I don't think that, but not every phone call from the school is about my son. I've had a couple phone calls about my older daughter, and then the first yesterday about my youngest, and which blew my mind, because her and my son are in the same school. When the phone call came in, the first words out of my mouth was, what did Corey do? Because, and I've said my son's name on here before, so don't say, oh, she's doxing her kid. No, I'm not. I've said his name before. What did Corey do? And he's like, well, it was Rachel. And I've said her name before, so don't come at me. And I was blown away. But she's 12, and 12-year-old girls are, a little mouthy, so then I'm like, what did she do? And what happened? And, I'm a firm believer in they will take their punishment. So, needless to say, my daughter is suspended for 3 days. It is what it is. But it's really hard to parent, because you can't parent your kid when they live in a time where there's not a lot of kids that are parenting. Well, you can parent them, but it's really a struggle. It's really, really a struggle to parent your kids when we live in a time where kids are just not parented. Kids are raising themselves, and it's really hard. I'm big on family, and y'all know that I'm big on family. We sit at the dinner table every night, TV off, phones down, nothing going on, just conversation. Just conversation. I want to know how their day was. They asked me how my day was. I want to know how they're doing. I want to know how they're doing. I don't want to know everything about them. I don't want to be their best friend. I want to be their mom, but I want to know how they are. How their day went. They tell me about tests at school. Friends, if anything's going on. They have their little secrets, and that's good. I want them to have that. I want them to have their time, their stuff. But we talk, and I'm their mom. I'm not their best friend. They have their friend stuff, and then they have their family stuff, and family's big to me. And when they come home, there's not a lot of phone time, because they do have a phone. I think it's important, with everything that's happening in schools. I want to have constant contact with my kids. I'm a worrier. I worry about them, and I want to be able to be like, hey, are you good? Is everything going okay today? And for them to be able to be, yeah, Mom, I'm good. That means it takes a load off of me, and I can work, and I can feel good about where they are. I don't know if it's just because I'm older. I think a lot more about things, or if it's just the day it is, the times, because you hear so much. I don't really watch the news anymore, but you get alerts, you know, on your phone, and it's just hard parenting today, guys. It really is. It's so hard. And if you have little ones at home, just keep praying for them, because I pray for my kids all the time, and I'm not going to get on here and talk about religion because I don't agree with that. But I pray for my kids all the time, even my big ones, and I pray for Sage. You know, I pray for my daughter-in-laws, and I just, times are crazy. Times are crazy. It's hard. It's hard parenting today. That's just what I wanted to say. It's hard. And if you have kids now and you feel the same way, just tell me, how do you deal? Like, how do you deal? How do you parent when your kids go to school and other kids are doing and saying things? And I'm very honest with my kids. Like, I don't sugarcoat shit. Like, if you come and you ask me a question about something, I'm gonna tell you. Like, they're all old enough now. Like, when they were younger, I kept it age appropriate, but now my youngest is 12, and if you ask me something, hey, we're gonna talk about it. Like, we're gonna talk details. You're gonna know the ins and out of it, because I don't want somebody at your school telling you, oh, it's like this, it's not like that. No, you're gonna know details. You're gonna know how it happens, what happens, and how it affects your life from now on. Like, from now on. Like, my 15-year-old, there's a girl in her school that's pregnant. She's been saying for a year now, oh, I just want a baby. Of course, she's not even really, like, seriously into, like, dating yet. But she's like, I just want a baby. Like, I want a baby. I was like, okay, let's talk about how you have a baby. And because I got tired of hearing her say I want a baby at 15. And so I went into details, guys. Details. Like, everything. Episiotomy. All the good, yummy details. And then she's like, yeah, I don't think I want a baby now, Mom. I was like, yeah, I don't think you do either, sweetheart. I don't think you do either. Yeah, she's like, why did you do all that? I said, because I'm tired of hearing your little fairy tale. Like, babies are not fairy tales. They are real. Like, it is not fun, and you think it's just some fun game. So we're going to talk about it since you've been talking about it for so long. But yeah, that's me, guys, and that's how I parent. And it is what it is. But I'm home, guys. I talked all the way home. I hope you got, well, part of the way, because I don't get service till a few minutes from the house. But you guys have a great evening, and just let me know your thoughts of how you parent these days in this crazy world we live in. But y'all have a wonderful evening. I love you guys.